Good morning, listeners and viewers. It's Chris here with another episode of Coaching Conversations with Nick from Up Coach.
Yeah,
Nick, how are you today?
I'm very, very good. Weekend went really bloody fast though, but
Very
we're
fast.
all into it. We've got a full-on week, so that's a good thing. So
Yes, we are fortunate to have a busy week lined up in front of us, which is
we are fortunate.
lots of good things to be looking forward to this week. We're going to jump straight into the topic today, and it's pretty chunky and it's pretty relevant for where we are right now, currently in the business environment in Australia and, probably internationally, but let's focus on our own backyard, particularly in Victoria. You guys are doing it really tough down there, 2-3 months of lockdown. So today's topic is all about overcoming adversity. I guess if you've probably got a couple of points to break down here, Nick. So if you're doing it tough in business, or if things are tough for you right now and you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, I want you to get a pen and take a little bit of time out from what you're doing. Don't have this playing on in the background. Actually sit down and listen and be present and absorb what we're about to share with you. Nick, how do you overcome adversity when things are tough or getting really tough in your business? What's your advice around this?
Yeah, good question and very, very, very relevant right now.
Yeah.
And I suppose just before I answer that, Chris, we sort of need some background to kind of set this up. Normally on this show, we're talking a lot about business and, a lot about tactical stuff. But the truth of the matter is sometimes I think as business owners, we forget that we're human. We still forget that there comes good days, there comes bad days. And the reason I suppose why we've chosen this topic today is two things. Number one, today is a funeral of one of our very good friends and our mentor for our business, and he's touched our lives personally. 3 weeks ago, he was all good. Next minute, he passed away. And I suppose number two is I got an email of someone that was going to join our tribe, and unfortunately, found out that he took his own life, and it's a tragedy. We're really close to hopefully be able to help him, but unfortunately, that's the way that it went. So, and I suppose what I'm sort of moving towards in this episode is that I think that there are choices that we can make. And first of all, let me start here. I'm not a counselor. I don't profess to be a counselor. I have helped people through the situation, Chris. We've had some other clients that have, been on the verge of it, and then they've pulled through with our help. So I just need to make that clear with everyone. So take whatever I'm going to talk about with a grain of salt. And I don't profess to have been in that lower point that I could even possibly understand what's going on. But I feel that you don't wake up to that point overnight and say, yep, I'm going to take my own life. I feel that it's a growing, compounding scenario that takes months, years, in some cases days, but mostly months and years to really be in that position. And I'm hoping that anybody watching this that may be feeling like this or has somebody that they know that's feeling like this could, stop it before it even gets to the place where there's no comeback. So, and let me start here. So first of all, I believe that facing challenges in your business today and, just dealing with adversity starts in a frame of mind. And I feel that it has sort of two parts. Number one, you can always look at your worst day as the worst day or somebody else's most amazing, happiest, love to be in your shoes day. So how we look at a problem comes from how we think about it, our mindset around it, our viewpoint of the world. And I heard something interesting the other day that I was listening to an audiobook that I really liked, and it really resonated with me and made sense. And I think it's pretty relevant for what we're talking about here. And it was put really elegantly. That's what I loved the most about it, and it made it kind of cool, And it's a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and he said humans often create false realities in their mind to go back to negativity and go back to turmoil and go back to, hardship and go back to all these places. And the reason why we do it is if things are cruising along too cruisy, for some people that aren't used to it, they actually think that there's something bad. And we probably all know these people. I know a friend of mine, unless there's turmoil in her life, it's not the norm. It's always turmoil, always something, always the neighbor, the this, the kids, her work colleagues, all of these things. There's always a false sense of drama that's always there.
They
right?
attract the drama to themselves.
They attract the drama, right?
Yeah.
And my coach Kurak used to call it drama glue, right? You get stuck in the drama glue. And look at the world today. I mean, we're bombarded. COVID, the business, this, that, relationships, all of these things are all drama, TV series, drama, drama, drama. So the reason I say that is from a frame of mind, if you think that everything around you is death, destruction, negativity, no hope, unfortunately, it doesn't matter what you look at, you're always going to, see it that way. The other side to that, I've been reading a book called The Happiest Man on Earth by Eddie Jacques, right? And, World War II Holocaust survivor. And he's just seeing that persecution, family all killed, him almost on the brink, and still managed to pull out of it and see something amazing. Now, most people are going to say, Nick, but that's not me. Nick, this is relative to me. And I have to say, I completely get where you're coming from. Every man's cloud is darker than the other man or other woman's cloud because you have to face it. So I get it. However, the saying, every cloud has a silver lining, at some levels, there's always something or somebody or something that you can live towards. Not work towards, but actually live towards. This is a bigger part of it. And to me, at some levels, the escapism of ending, your life at some levels is an option out rather than facing the music. Now, once again, I'm only the world according to Nick. Okay, this isn't, like hardcore. That's just the way it is. So part one is the way that you look at things, right? I feel that that's always a part of it. Part two to this, Chris, is I think that we also get implanted with viruses. In the work by Richard Dawkins, The Selfish Gene, they talk about mimetic viruses that are literally the brain and the mind catches a virus. Not a virus that's, something that's going to be a biological virus, but it actually gets a mental virus that then spreads throughout the body physically and emotionally and spiritually at some levels. And a mimetic virus is a set of words that are transmitted to somebody else, from somebody else, that are then start to take as gospel and then become your reality. So, and here's an example. If somebody in authority, it could be, boss, teacher, priest, brother, sister, mother, father, uncle, whatever it is, somebody that was in authority said something to you earlier in your piece, what could be very relevant as yesterday in your piece, and you've recorded that as negative, and you've recorded that so heavily into your psyche that now you're starting a cascade of negative thoughts towards, that actually compound the process versus it just being a thought pattern that somebody just said and you've brushed it off. And let me give you an example. If somebody when you were, younger said, geez, you're fat, you're worthless, look at you, who the hell's going to go out with you, like you're ugly, all of these harsh words that technically is still words, and you've ingrained this, more than likely all of that over X amount of period could lead to an eating disorder, intrinsic behavior, mental illness, physical illness, and ultimately suicide, right? This is a cascade just from a set of words and, that you've created, that you've embedded into your psyche. Those same amount of words could be said funnily, hey man, you're putting on some weight, who the hell's going to go out with you? Look at, right? And you just take them lightly and you wouldn't think about it, 10 minutes later. Do you see? It's a set of words that you've just interpreted in a particular way, right? It's a mimetic virus. So it's a transmission of words that actually then start to take a life on their own. Now, it's interesting because we're transmitting words from around the world to you from everybody. The media, especially, a big part of it, the presidents, prime ministers, all of these things that happen from that. So I feel that, once again, if you've got, things that are happening in your business, especially, is it because you're trying to keep up with expectation of others? Is it because somebody said, well, mate, in order for you to be successful, you need to have money, you need to have the big house of the Joneses, and we've heard the famous words, keeping up with the Joneses. So is that what's causing you stress? And for you starting this whole downward spiral into, oh my God, if I don't have all of this stuff, it's going to be really bad. About 5 or 6 years ago, I remember speaking with a person, and his business is just losing hundreds of thousands a year, but then he's got a 50-foot boat, wife's got a Range Rover, tennis club and all of this stuff. And I said to him, dude, maybe you need to educate yourself a little bit more and start understanding how to run business. And he had a whole chain of chicken stores and all of this stuff versus buying all of this crap that you don't want. And he said, well, the worst thing that could happen to me is if I lost the money, it's better being dead than having to tell my wife that she can't drive the Range or, have the Chanel bag or go out to tennis with her girlfriends. And I'm like, sorry, brother, but you've got this kind of all wrong. Who cares about the stuff? That really at the end of the day. So is it a mimetic virus that's causing you stress to be able to do it that way? Now, does that make sense, Chris? I just want to, check in to see if
absolutely. And it's really placement around thoughts. So these thoughts truly are only thoughts, something you've written about in one of our emails recently. These mimetic viruses are embedded through what could be perceived as a brush-off event, but people take those comments or suggestions that could even come from customers, by the way. It doesn't necessarily have to come from a teacher or an uncle or anyone like that. And it's what we do with those thoughts that lead us down an adverse path, which could create some, horrible outcomes in the future. So it's around, from what I understand, it's around the thoughts that you're creating based on, external events and things that have happened in your life.
Well, exactly. I mean, just if we think about people as an example that have got a disability, right? Once you've got that disability, if there's nothing that you can do with it, you need to live with it. Now, you can either let it kind of destroy you or let it make you shine, actually, right? How many people have we heard, people in wheelchairs, people with no legs, all of these amazing things that we've seen time and time again. So they've let that adversity actually become their shining spirit, right? Which is pretty incredible. So now I suppose coming back to the business part of it is, how do we look at things relative? Let's kind of look into that. So today, if you've been affected, let's say by COVID, I mean, the stats on COVID, especially for suicide rates, are like, mind-boggling. It's happening as we speak. There's thousands of people taking their lives, like around the world daily. It's crazy, right? It's interesting because I think as humans, we also forget that we've seen this adversity 10 times worse. World War I, II, Korea, Vietnam, like this. There's been plagues and, stuff that's rocked us that we never thought we could get through. But you know what? We looked past it. We kept on pushing through, and we did it. You know what I mean? Like there's adversity that we've had. So most people feel like that there's no way out. Where the truth of the matter is, there's always a way out. Some way, somehow, some shape. Once again, I'm not professing to come, in that person's, mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that I see is this. So if you're feeling like this in business, first of all, I think you've just got to look at what's going on. And I always like to think about it at the lowest denominator. So if you go right now, business isn't good, what else in your life is good? So if let's say, business isn't good, it's been affected by COVID, you've dropped 95%, you've got debts that you need to look after, you've got, home mortgages that need to be paid, you've got tax debt, you've got, supplier debt, all of these debts that come with it. Really, if the only thing is debt and the worst possible thing was that you needed to close the business down, throw your hands up and say, I'm bankrupt, found another job that works for somebody. If you really look at the lowest denominator of going is, am I still, breathing? Have I got the possibility of thought? Do I have someone that's around me that loves me? Do I have a family? Do I have kids? Do I have a car? Do I have all of these things, right, is relative when you really think about it. And I learned that a lot from, serving the homeless for years and years and years. Homeless, first of all, is a choice. It really is. I mean, today in Australia, you can eat 3 meals a day, good nutritious meals. You've got shelter, you've got care, you've got medical care, all of these things. So, we're pretty blessed. So the worst possible case scenario is, all right, I've got to sleep under a tree, but I can still eat every day, and I've kind of got different locations that I can go to if that's what I want. Right? It's kind of crazy to think about this like this, right? So what I'm trying to share with somebody is to go, don't despair that all you think that you are is the business, because the truth of the matter is you're actually not. The business is just but one part. Now, when you're in it, it's hard to see out. It's like drowning, and you're almost at the water's edge where you can breathe. Just think about it, that if worse comes to worse and there was nothing, could you ask a relative? Could you ask a friend? Could you ask a colleague? Could you ask a customer for some help to go, hey, here's what's happened. Can you lend me $1,000 to get back on my feet to eat or whatever? I mean, there's a way. Do you see? So what I'm trying to share with somebody is never look at the situation that you're in only and solely as the only thing that's happening in your life, because there's 5,000 other things. And funny enough, we've been in scenarios, Chris, and you know this, where people are thinking about us when we didn't even think that they were thinking about us. Our client that lives in Tasmania now, and it's crazy. People go, man, I was checking you out. Like, I've been checking you out for 6 months every day. And I'm like, I didn't know that, right? Do you know what I mean? So we're connected at a higher level, and you don't need to do this alone. This is what I'm trying to share with somebody. So the takeaway from this is to say, well, just look at what else is good in your life. Just the other day, I think on Friday, I was talking to a customer that was complaining about everything. He's got a good business, makes lots of money, all a good family, kids. And man, I tried to tell him, I'm like, dude, all you're doing is looking at how bad shit is in your life. I said, but in the last 7 or 8 months, we've done more than what you've done in 10 years previously. I said, and these are good things that you just have to get through. It just doesn't mean that it worked out the way that you want. We've learned from it and we move on. And he had a bit of an aha moment. He went quiet over the phone. And I said, you got to start looking at the good, not all the bad. Think about it. Think about even in your worst day in business, in COVID, where your business is going belly up, all of these bad things that are happening. At least you've got a business. Like some people have got a plastic bag. You know what I mean? Like that's it.
Right.
That's their life, a plastic bag full of stuff. And I know because I've fed them for years.
Yeah. So once you get to a point of, and to summarize that point there, it's really about placing perspective on how you see your current situation. Sometimes it's hard to do because, if you're in your own, hole of shittiness, sometimes you can't get out. So if you need some help, find some help. There's plenty of options on phone. I know through Lifeline, you can contact Lifeline if you need help, perhaps friends, perhaps your support network. I mean, like you've mentioned a few times, and like even from a coaching perspective, our clients call us occasionally to just, have a bit of a rant and talk to us because we need to be able to pull them out of that hole. That's what a good coach does. What are the next steps, Nick? If you've, understood your reality, you've seen perspective from a different viewpoint, if you will. Okay, you've realized, yes, business isn't great, but at least I've got a business. Like you just mentioned, I've got more than whatever my contents are in a Woolies bag. What's the next step after that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. First of all, I think you need to accept what is. Right now, this is what you're going through. There's no change of it. It is what it is. You owe money. Your business is in the shit. Whatever it is. You just got to accept it. Okay, cool. And once you accept it, now you've got a choice. And most people in real dire situations feel that there's no other choice other than to, end your life. The virus is so strong that a
Mm.
mimetic virus will sacrifice a host at all cost.
Right.
Even you're the person that's actually having the thought will sacrifice you. The epiphany of how strong a thought can be. But once you accept it, now you've got a choice. So first of all, just accept it. Okay, this is where I am. And that's kind of the bottom. Can it get lower than this? And the answer is yes. Could your wife leave you, your husband leave you, your kids leave you, get hit by a car? I don't know, like a million other things that can happen. And the answer is yes. If that's the path, that's the path. So number one is accept it. Number two, now you've got the choice. So my thing would be, how do you start asking relevant questions? Because most people, especially in a dire scenario, keep on replaying negative questions in their mind
Yeah.
over and over and over again, right? And the
Yes.
only answer that they get is more negativity.
Mm.
Right? They're just, oh man, I'm stuck here. Things are bad. My missus has left me. Fuck, it's just going to get the worse. The kids hate me. The debtors are ringing. It's this repetition over and over again. So if you were to change that and say, okay, I'm here now. What do I need to do? Let's just think about it for a second. If you had to get onto the phone to the debtors and say, look, here's the scenario. This is how I am. I can't possibly pay you the money right now. How can we arrange something? Or, you know what? Hey, I'm just going to have to put the company into liquidation. That's just it. This is the choice. So either you're going to work with me or you're going to work against me. Either which way, you can make the choice. So in other words, you've done that and what I call compartmentalized it. To go, I can deal with this problem, move it to the side, check it off that I'm dealing with this, I move on next. Second question could be something along the lines of, who do I know out there that could possibly lend me a hand? So if you've got a cafe, as an example, that's been affected by this, is there somebody out there that has already got maybe a home delivery business in some other way, shape, or form? Maybe you've got a database of people that are already there, and you could just say, hey, look, I do kind of, really cool cook pasta meals or whatever it is. Is there a way that you can help me just promote it enough to do this? And the other reason I know this is a friend of mine that's a providor, sells, fruit, vegetables and stuff to restaurants. His business was 90% affected by COVID. So guess what? He started doing home delivery, beautiful fruit and vegetable type boxes. And that started to grow pretty amazingly, right? So now, he's slowly clawing his way up. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is, that if you ask the right question about how can you versus how can't you, there's always an answer that will come. And believe you me, people usually attract to you to try to help you. Very rarely are we not helping people.
That's good. So thinking with a how can I or how can you versus a how can't I.
Yeah, and they're close, right? Because let's say your girlfriend leaves you, your boyfriend leaves you, or any of these type of things, you could get into the spiral, I'm not good enough, what did I do? Or this anger, how dare they, can't believe they did that, they cheated by me. And you could really get stuck in that cycle versus, cool, I accept it, it's happened. All right, now, is it worth the worry or is it worth the work to get out? And this is an important part. You can get stuck in the worry, you can get stuck in the work. I'd rather get stuck in the work. Let's work our way out of this. And
yeah,
man,
that's a very good point.
Days that I thought were the worst ever. Death of my nephew, my parent, my aunties, all of that, like the worst day. Losing businesses, all this stuff, and losing, divorces, and the worst day. In hindsight, I look back and I'm like, my God, these were lessons for me to understand. If you make the choice, start to change your language around it, start to ask the relevant questions, and start to concentrate on the work, sooner or later you're going to get out of it. If worse comes to worse, and you closed the business, walked away from it, went on what is it?
Job seeker.
Job seeker or whatever, ask the relative, somebody's going to give you a roof over your head. You'll figure it out. But you need to start with the decision of change.
Yes. One thing I want to throw in here as well is people forget the relevance of time. So today, or this week, this month may have been the toughest month of your life, but there's months and months and months and years ahead of you that you can use to your own advantage to regrow things, to claw back, to get back into the right driver's seat, to grow your business again. There's lots of options there, but the greatest, I think, the greatest area that people tend to miss is they forget about the time factor. And people say, oh, I don't have enough time. Well, we do have time in front of us. Just look at you might have heard stories about people that have failed in business. They've always got back up. It hasn't been immediate. It hasn't happened the next day or the next week. It may have taken years to get back on top. But where they are right now, they're in a completely different place, but it has taken time. So it may not happen immediately. We need to understand that sometimes shifting out, changing our perspective, changing the way we do things, trying something different, like you said, Nick, even if you do lose your business, it's going to take time to get better, providing that you have the right support and the right mindset to attack that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, what's tougher? Is it your business or your health? What's tougher? Is it your business or your relationships? Like, what's tougher? Is it your business or life? And the answer is, of course, life. Your health, your relationships. These things are what we are. Our business is not what we are. Our business is what we do. Your job is what you do. Your status in life is what you do. As a human, all you're trying to do is survive against the elements. I need to eat. I need to not be out in the weather too much. I need to contribute. I need to, live. Now, there's different degrees of all of that stuff. I want to add one thing to it that I think is relative. The environments that we put ourselves in, whether it's social media on these things, whether it's the friendship environment that we're in, the relationship, the community that we're in, the city that we live in, all of these factors actually create false senses of reality for us. I must have those lips. I must have those boobs. I must, drive the Lambo. I must, rain money. I must do all of this stuff. Where it's interesting. I've just been watching this documentary called The Social Dilemma. And basically, when we market it, so we get it, the level of targeting and persuasive false decisions that are put in front of you continuously to make you a shopping machine is just ridiculous, right? And psychologically, they're embedding things like, Pavlov's dogs, where, Pavlov rang the bell and the dog started salivating, when he fed him. Then he just rang the bell without the food and the dog started salivating. And I can tell you that all social media, Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, any Google, any of these are spending not billions, trillions of dollars globally combined to affect us in a particular way. If we can buy stuff, these make the money. And you can see it, all the tech companies that used to produce stuff like Apple and all that are no match versus all the big ones like Facebook. And because now they're in the game of selling humans. It's insane when you really think about it. And the reason I'm going down this path is every time that I feel like I'm tipping over the edge a bit, I'm starting to get so stuck in the business that I feel a little bit lost, or I'm worried about money and all that, I try to get amongst nature. And believe you me, nature is our healer for everything, whether it's mental illness, emotional illness, spiritual illness, physical illness. All of these things could be very, very, very powerful for us. There are ailments that can cure us. Nature can cure us. The herbs that come out of the ground, the plants that are there, the energy, the oxygen, the sand, the water, everything. Really, it is. And yourself, every time you go and sit in the grass for a bit, I don't know, everything else kind of feels better, right? So one of the things that I tell somebody is, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling a bit lost, if you're feeling like this, just go out and just walk for 30 minutes a day. Just go and put your feet in the sand or in the salt water. Just go for a swim. Go for a walk in the forest, in the bush, whatever it is. Just be with nature a bit. Hug an animal. Do all of these things. They're really good for us. They're really good for our psyche. And funny enough, just that time that you're spending pondering usually is where all your answers are going to come. Get off this shit and don't believe the hype, because believe you me, it's all fabricated hype. So
couldn't agree more on the phone and getting off that and getting out to nature. It is the ultimate healer.
The ultimate healer.
The ultimate healer. I'm going to leave it with that, guys. If you have any If you're struggling in business, if things are really tough, please reach out to someone who can help, whether it's Lifeline, whether it's us. You can reach out to us, ask@upcoach.com.au. We are happy to listen. That's what we do daily as coaches. If you've got friends, family, a support network that you can reach out to, please do that. You can overcome adversity. People have done it before. It can be done again. If things are tough in your business life right now, or in life in general, please reach out and grab the support that you need, because you can make it through. Any final words, Nick?
Yeah, Upcoach was built on the question of what if things could be better? What if you had the ability to change? And that's what I share with you. What if it wasn't as bad as what you really thought it was? What if the only way is up?
Very good. We'll see you and talk to you all again next week. Bye now.
Bye now.